And good afternoon. In Belfast yesterday, George Best is sent off, and in today's programme we look at the incident again and ask, isn't it about time George Best buckled down and showed again what a great player he can be? In Cardiff, Wales reach up and offer the severest challenge to England. All the highlights and slow-motion inquests from there with Jimmy Hill. And the first action today, in fact, is from Cardiff, where this England team has a double role of staying firm in wind and limb for Mexico, and of course playing well enough to keep their morale high. It's a strong-looking side, and there's a minor experiment, of course, in the full-back area, where Liverpool's Emlyn Hughes is given another chance. Here's Hughes, and he's a full-back who just loves to come forward and attack. England, though, have a good record against Wales, and today it's a Welsh side without Sprake in goal and Wyn Davies in attack, but still closer to their nominated side than for some time. But a lot will still, of course, rest on the undoubted class of some of their players, like Mike England of Tottenham, Ron Davies, the striker from Southampton, and skipper Terry Hennessy. The crowd at blustery Ninian Park is 40,000 strong.
So Mr. Wharton from Scotland, the referee, probably the biggest man on this field at something like 6'5", gets this game away. Wales all in red, defending that goal to our left, having beaten England only once since the war, and that was in 1955. Fair bit of grass on this pitch and a very blustery wind, mostly behind England. Here's Hughes, and he'll put it back to Gordon Banks. It certainly isn't going to be easy in this wind, as Wright takes it up. Looking for Mullery. Mullery beaten there by Thomas to Hennessy, the Welsh captain. Ball as busy as ever straight away to Francis Lee. And Ball really moving up that right. Watched by Thomas. And a throw to England. England in first. He'll need to stick close to Geoff Hurst. Lee it is who'll take it again. One of the decisive battles at Ninian Park could in fact be Mike England against Geoff Hurst, and it is absolutely essential that England stay so close to him. But now Ron Davies to Dick Criswicki. Criswicki trying to cut inside Hughes, and still Criswicki and Banks. Now Hughes. Terry Hennessy. England to Tony Millington, who's had a... There's England. And then Hughes. Again, an indication of how close England is sticking to Hurst, even right out to that touchline. Moore now to Hughes. Going towards Hurst, and again England there first. Hughes with another chance to Bobby Moore. Charlton, Ball. Peters, a good run there by Peters, and again an indication of all the England players working for each other. And good work here by Lee, a good position. Aimed towards the near post for Hurst, but cut out by Powell. Still Lee. And Bobby Charlton with a little chip. Oh, against the post! Bobby Moore to follow it through. Mullery, Moore. Good, neat, controlled play here by England. Now to Hughes. Bobby Charlton. And finally through to Powell, almost putting it past Millington and into his own goal. Complete confusion there in the Welsh defence. And it must have been something like 15 English passes without a Welshman so much as touching it. And now Ron Davies for Wales. Durban to Davies, the man who scored for Wales against England at Wembley last year, but who scored only one international goal for Wales at Ninian Park. Now it's Graham Moore. Durban trying a 1-2, Ron Davies and Mallory close at hand, and there's Banks. A throw there that gives Bobby Moore a bit of space. Mallory. Ball. And a foul there against Graham Moore. And a pretty crude one it was too. Ball was taking him on, but Ball is all right again. Moore with a free kick, quickly taken. Hurst going in on it, and Millington stretching. Hughes. Mullery getting up well and finding his Tottenham teammate Peters. Mullery again. And a good run by Hughes. And a corner. England's last performance in February against Belgium really put them firmly on the way towards Mexico. Here's LeBone going right up into that Welsh penalty area. And so far England are repeating that form from Brussels. Alan Ball. Chip in there, and again caught on the wing, and again Millington in trouble, but in fact offside was given. And it must be difficult for a goalkeeper, having played a season in the 4th division, to find the tempo so different as it must be when you get amongst class players like the players that are out here facing Wales this afternoon. Bobby Moore, ball beautifully taken. And he couldn't quite get it through either to Hurst or Charlton, with Powell really snapping at him. Mullery. England in these opening 10 minutes completely in control, with the wind firmly at their backs. Mullery again. Charlton. Oh, a poor one. And a throw to Wales. Graham Moore with a throw. Ron Davies. And Wright going with him. And another throw to Wales. Rod Thomas. Aimed high towards Chris Ricky, and held long enough on the wing for Chris Ricky to get a head to it, and Moore was bumping in the back, and so it's a free kick for Wales. Hennessy with it. And England is right up there amongst those players in their penalty area, in fact getting a head to it. Bobby Moore. Again, the wind is making it difficult to judge the ball in the air, and Moore judged it better than Hurst. Davis finding Rees, and on the outside, Rodriguez. A little flick through there towards Chris Ricky, and he couldn't control it. Rees playing very much in midfield for Wales. England on a long one. And LeBeau. Thomas first time, but Mullery to Bobby Charlton, a fair bit of space ahead of him. Lee up with him, and Peters going down the left. Here's Peters. Aimed towards Hurst, but a goal kick. Hennessy finding Rodriguez. He's had a difficult season with Leicester with so much injury. Bobby Moore missing nothing. Ball. Charlton to Moore again. Played first time to Lee. Ball a 1-2, and I don't think it'll quite come off. Graham Moore right back. And a corner to England. Good work by Lee to float across the field, having worked so much on the right. Appearing on the left, and Graham Moore giving away the corner. LeBone again right up in that 6-yard area. But in fact, it's Graham Moore getting it away. Mullery. Mallory linking up well with Peters. Rodrigues. Suspicion of handball there against Bobby Moore, but the referee was directly in line. So it's Emlyn Hughes to Martin Peters. And now to Charlton. Wright has gone down the right, and here he is. Mallory. And Wright again. Oh, Mallory slipping. And it'll let Graham Moore in. Shouldering Wright vigorously and giving away the free kick. Graham Moore, who came into the Home International Championship for Wales very unexpectedly last season and played well. And Mr. Wharton, this huge referee from Scotland, making sure that Bobby Moore places it in the right place, and Moore with the kick. And that's Millington's. And a throw that sets Durban away. Davis. And Rees. Graham Moore. Thomas. Having a bit of a wrestling match there with Mallory, who obstructed him. And so a free kick then to Wales. And Rees to take it. They'll have to watch out for Ron Davis. Bobby Moore missing it in the air. He missed that one in the air, certainly Moore, and every time those high ones float across that English goal mouth, England really must watch out for Ron Davis. England beating ball. Now Mallory. Charlton. Oh, sliding past. Rees very well. A very good low shot there by Charlton. A beautiful dummy pass, Ronnie Rees. Really sent Millington scrambling across his goal. And a free kick to England. Hughes to Moore. That was aimed towards Lee, but Rodrigues read it well. But now Lee, in a tremendous amount of space, Hurst and Charlton in the middle. Still Lee, and Peters with a shot. Good work there, Millington getting behind it. And good build-up again by England. Very imaginative indeed, and Peters ghosting in as he does so often. Now Hennessy. Rodrigues. Durban. To Graham Moore. Thomas to Moore. Peters. To Wright. And now Mallory. A long crossfield ball that finds Hughes. Alan Ball. Hughes again. Kept in well by Rodrigues. Davis. Durban. Rodrigues. Ronnie Rees. And Davis. Oh, good play by Davis to find Rees. Davis closing in on it. Ron Davis. Oh, superb work by Banks. Brilliant goalkeeping by Gordon Banks. From Ron Davis. A fine run by him. And the nearest that Wales have come to a goal. That really took all of Banks' class to stop it. Graham Moore to Hennessy. Durban. And now Hennessy. Griswicki. Davis calling for it at the far post, going towards him, and Banks doing the right thing, getting his fist there first. He really couldn't risk catching it with Davis lurking behind him. Hurst well offside. Being so closely watched by England. Here's England to Rodrigues. Durban. So much more composure about this Welsh play at the moment. Rodrigues growing in confidence all the time. Chiswicky. Being pulled back by Peters. But finally, the referee giving the free kick and indicating to Peters that he was tugging at Chiswicky. And so a free kick to Wales. One that Hennessy will hope to catch on the win and reach the head of Ron Davis. That's what it's aimed for, and in fact it gets to Davis's head. But there was pushing in the scrimmaging there. Davis on the bone. And Banks with the kick for England. Free kick to England. Peters. And England away. Peters another try to Mullery. And almost without looking, Mullery knew that somebody would be there. England. Hurst played off nicely there for Mullery. Oh, nicely there, but Lee was back on his heels. Good play by Mullery. Hughes. Aimed towards Jeff Hurst, who took a bit of a nudge there from England. Peters! Charlton, Graham Moore. Hennessy to Wright. Peters away again. Graham Moore trying to cover. Hurst is in there, storming in. Hurst! Oh, beautiful move by England. Tremendous run by Hurst there on the blind side. But something like a couple of yards wide. A magnificent ball from Martin Peters, though. Played first time and almost inch perfect. At last we got the ball out of the crowd. Millington to take the goal kick for Wales. And the wind so strong that the ball begins to move. Hughes almost letting in Davis. And Moore complaining that that wasn't a free kick, but Mr. Wharton, the referee from Scotland, said that it was. Moore organising that England defence, and Hennessy to take the free kick for Wales. A little floater there, and Chiswicky, but in with his hands, unmistakably punching it in. And so a free kick. Although the crowd around are convinced it was a goal, there was no doubt whatsoever that he put that in with his hand. Hurst. And Durban to Rees. That's Mullery's to Hughes. Good firm tackle again by Rodrigues to Durban. Wales really springing forward now. Moore, Peters. But of course, one of the great qualities of England over the last few years is their ability to absorb so much pressure. Here comes some more of it now, though. Rees with Hennessy storming up his right. Hughes. Mallory. Charlton. Tommy Wright. Thomas, for some reason, not risking a pass back to Millington, although the way was clear. Peters and Hughes have gone on a run up the left, but it didn't go through, and so it's Durban. And 4 against 4. And now, Chris Wickie! And there it is! Chris Wickie! Well, a minute ago he had one in with his hand, but there was never any doubt about that one. England, it looked, slowed down a little bit, looking questioningly, thinking he may have been offside, but that never entered the referee's head, and that put Wales ahead with 5 minutes to go to half-time. Chris Wickie again, the hero of Ninian Park. And Ball and Rees getting stuck in, and the referee, that mighty man, standing between them to prevent any more trouble, and a free kick to England. Lee. Ball. And now Peters. And Hennessy putting that one away for a corner. The sweat on his shirt, and honest sweat it is as well, because he really has inspired Wales, Hennessy, through the middle of the field this afternoon. It's Bobby Charlton with a corner for England, LeBone on the goal line. And it's bedlam at the moment at Ninian Park. A little slow to get that one away. Lee, can he make enough space? Oh, floating through, and again held for a corner. Millington, I think, not very happy, saying that he stopped that ball before it had crossed the line. But it's a corner to England. The wind's at their back. The whole of this half, they would like to have gone in up. It looks very much as though they might go in down. Ball. And again, the fist of Millington. Lee following it in, but the whistle had gone. Of course, the fact that England faced the win in the second half won't make too much difference in terms of measuring a pass in a wind this strong. Another throw from the goalkeeper. And Banks really has put in some fine throws this afternoon as well. Hennessy. And there's Chris Wickie again, but offside. And that really must have been a marginal decision, because he burst from the back, did Chris Wickie. Now playing injury time at the end of the first half. England. Peters. And a throw to Wales. Hughes. half-time whistle, with Wales bravely in the lead. A goal by this man, number 7, Dick Criswicki, 5 minutes before half-time. Still to come, there's the half-time situation then at Ninian Park. Still to come, the goals from the other international in Belfast, Ireland against Scotland. Half-time score, Wales 1, England 0. Stay with us for more soccer action in just a couple of minutes. So England then get us away in the second half, facing 45 minutes that will test their skill, their stamina and their character as well against a very good-looking Welsh side. The Welsh side, remember, without Wyn Davies and Gary Sprake. And in a bit of trouble there as well, back to Millington. And now Criswicki going through again. And Banks on the edge of his area. Graham Moore with the throw for Wales. And a good run by Rees. Faced by Wright, and he beats Wright. But there's nobody at the far post for that one. Thomas. Lee for ball. With Hennessy really crashing into him, but Lee again. That's aimed towards Alan Ball, and Rodrigues getting there first. It didn't carry as far as Ball. And LeBowen might well have been forced to give away the corner by Criswicki. So a corner to Wales. Won for them by the determination of Dick Criswicki against this man, Brian LeBowen. Mike England right up. Graham Moore with it. And Davis getting ahead to it. Criswicki, can he make it two? No. Ball. Hennessy. Moore. Hennessy again. Rice. Ronnie Rees. And Charlton forced to come right back. Still Rees. Oh, and the goal is open, and Davis gets ahead to it. Durbin going in, and Mullery to get it away. An overhead by Rodrigues. Durbin still in there. And Rees going in with his feet high on Bobby Moore. And Moore not at all happy with that one. Getting Rees's boot in the small of the back. And it looks very much as though Rees is going to have his name taken. The book is out. And Rees' name going into it. And certainly his boots were high on Moore's back. Durbin. Criswicki going in again. He's a good aggressive player, this Criswicki, chasing everything. Charlton. Peters. Alan Ball. Hughes. Still Hughes. And now Lee. Rodrigues to get it away. This Welsh defence really has organised itself well. when there's danger about, everybody comes back. Now right, so little room for England to do things. England, but only as far as ball. Played first time towards Peter on the volley! Couldn't quite screw it back far enough, Peters. But there's still so much style about England as they come forward as well. So it really is a tremendous performance by Wales to be this goal ahead. Davis to Criswicki. Rees. And a free kick given. Yes, indeed, it says so much for Wales that they are ahead with this man, Bobby Moore, and England playing with so much style. And Wales really deserving everything that they have achieved. Moore running over it. Hennessy clipping it forward towards Davis, but LeBone was watching that one. So Durban. LeBone. And Hughes getting into a bit of trouble. Peters right back there. Ron Davis, a ricochet! Onto the top of the crossbar! The luck really going England's way there. From Davis. A deflection off a defender, and it threw Banks, who was a yard or two off his line, and he couldn't get back. Rees with the kick. Ron Davis. Oh, and he wanted too much time and too much space. And that's one thing an England defence will never allow. Peters. Hurst to Moore. And now to Charlton. Hughes going up outside him. Bobby Charlton, first time. Peters is looking for it. Faced by Rod Thomas. And getting a corner. So a corner to England with 25 minutes to go, and Wales this goal up. Bobby Charlton to curl it in, Hurst hoping for something, but again too many red shirts there. Durban getting it away to Davis. Hughes. Charlton. And now Ball. So busy everywhere, and now finding Lee. Flicked in first time! Oh, good work by Millington. He must have been half expecting Lee to pull that back. But he was certainly equal to it when Lee tried a little flick towards the goal. So a corner to England. Charlton with the kick. Durban, not very far. Powell, only as far as Mullery. Ball. Charlton. That's aimed towards Hurst with his head. He usually likes to flick those on, to glance them on. Perhaps the wind deceived him. By Hurst standards, it wasn't a very good header. Well, the Welsh crowd are beginning to say easy, but I bet 11 men on that pitch wouldn't agree that it was easy, because England are still coming hard for them, though this goal down. Well, a bone getting a few jeers, but it made sense. Rod Thomas. Davis. He's finding LeBone with him all the way. Graham Moore. Durban. England eventually finding Rodrigues. In turn finding Durban. Leaving it for Hennessy. Good understanding here by Wales. But not such good understanding there between Rees and Graham Moore, letting England through again. Alan Ball to Mullery, leaving it for Lee. And a shot by Lee! Oh, what a goal! Francis Lee! What a magnificent goal for England! Yes, that tells the story. Millington saved so many, but that was unstoppable. What a goal by Lee! With 20 minutes to go. So now Wales have to look again if they're going to win a match against England. Remember, their last victory was away back in 1955. And certainly nobody can doubt, though, that the Welsh have played well this afternoon. Hennessy. Looking for Durban. Hennessy. Rodrigues. Ron Davis getting ahead to it, but not enough power. Lee. And Peters. And a free kick to England against Rodrigues. Of course, it was last spring that Francis Lee really blossomed as an England player and had such a fine time in the home internationals. That goal really has come at precisely the right moment for England today. Bobby Charlton. LeBone. Moore delaying too long, dallying on that ball, and Chris Wickie nearly making it a very embarrassing moment for him. Alan Ball. And now Jeff Hurst. And that's going to be a goal kick. Well, a lot of people feel that Francis Lee can become a really world-class footballer in Mexico. If he scores many goals like that one, there can be no doubt. And now Martin Peters. To Ball as we move into injury time. To Bobby Charlton. Oh, just passed. And Welsh hearts everywhere stopped at that moment. A good flowing move by England. And a shot by Bobby Charlton that couldn't have been more than a couple of yards off target. Millington with probably the last goal kick of the match. And there it is, all over, a fine match between Wales and England, and the right result too. Wales won, England won.
That match got quite a slating in the press this morning, but I must say I enjoyed it. I thought also there were some good things about England's play. They had a certain style about them. They looked composed under pressure in difficult conditions with all that blustery wind. But Jimmy Hill, were there points about England with the World Cup so close at hand that worried you?
Well, there were points that worried me, but first of all, from a manager's point of view, they got a result. They remained unbeaten. As long as they can continue that until July, I'm sure we'll be very happy. But there were individual performances that worried me. Jeff Hurst's performance worried me. Mike England played very well indeed against him, and he's not an easy player to get away from when he's on form, but I don't think Jeff unsettled him as much as he might have done. I don't think he challenged hard enough for the ball, and he's had an unhappy season with this back injury, and I want to see him before the end of the week going and challenging, shall we say, like Ian Hutchinson did in the cup final, not giving the defence a moment's rest, because I feel the combination of Hurst and Lee, when you want to hit a ball up front, is not strong enough in its present form to create danger and give the defence a nerve-wracking time.
Now, what about this Welsh goal? Do you think this unsettled England in any way? And
Well,
was there also an element of offside about it?
Well, I think having had a look at it, without any doubt, it was offside, or as near offside as one could judge. But we've got a chance to look at it now. Here Alan Durban breaks away in the middle of the field, and he's obviously going to put a through ball, and the England defence see this. And as Chiswicky slips through there's the ball, and there's Chiswicky. Now, there's no other defender on either side of the field out of picture. There's just Mallory and Moore, and you have to judge whether Chiswicky is offside there or not. I think it was at least a very tight decision. But from then on, of course, although Banks comes out and narrows the angle, he bobbles it along the corner, just in the right place in the corner of the net.
Were there any problems, though, in that English defence?
Well, I was a little worried about Emlyn Hughes' performance in that position at left-back. For a defender, he gave the ball away in his own area far too often for me. That's an invitation to the opposition to score goals, and we won't be able to get away with that in Mexico.
But then, of course, England came back and scored this really stunning goal by Francis Lee.
Yes, I mean, Francis is so dangerous when he gets a chance like this. It was a superb shot, and I felt sorry for Wales in a way that he produced it against them. As they said, they couldn't see a way at that point of time in which England were going to get a goal. And Bobby played his little part in it. Alan Ball picks it up here. And there he is, picking up the ball on the wing. Mallory leaves it to him, 2 strides. And just watch the power of that shot as it whistles right across the face of the goalkeeper. They're in a perfectly placed position in the top of the net. Superb.
Man of the match, though, Terry Hennessy, surely.
I wouldn't disagree with you at all. A fine performance by Wales, and his move seems to have done him an awful lot of good. A new lease of life. He played well in a freer role for him, a little bit out of the defence, and he looked a masterly footballer under those conditions.
But now Bobby Charlton, winning his 99th cap for England on a day when his Manchester United colleague George Best was being sent off for an act of silly petulance in Belfast. Bobby, not his greatest game for England, but so full of sportsmanship and flair as ever.
Obviously it wasn't his greatest game, but on the other hand he did many useful things, not the least of them as he picks up the ball in the right-hand corner of the box here. Just watch the accuracy of that chip. Right over there on the fast post, very nearly went straight in, but it was asking to be headed into the net, but there was no striker on hand. He showed his ability also to slip a man. Now watch the power of that shot and the accuracy of it. Slithering across the turf and only inches outside the post. But also, for an experienced player, getting on in years, he's still got that acceleration and running power, the enthusiasm there of a 2-year-old as he pushes the ball past and wins that corner. But he generalled the side very well. In the middle of the field, he was always ready to take a pass from somebody. Here you see him guiding people, slipping a pass, waiting for opponents for his teammates to come alongside him. There's another one, beats his man beautifully. Up runs the man on his left, and there's exactly the ball that he wants. And if you want more than that from Charlton, just in the 90th minute of the game, he nearly produced the shot. In fact, he did produce the shot, but not the goal that gave England victory. That was 6 inches past the post. The magnificent Bobby Charlton.
And sometime this week, of course, he's going to make his 100th appearance for England. Only one British player has ever done that before, Billy Wright. I hope you enjoyed the coverage from Cardiff, television presentation there by John McGonigal. Second match on the programme today, though, is the match in Belfast. Just a few highlights of Ireland against Scotland. The commentator there at Windsor Park in Belfast is Hugh Johns, and you can pick out the Scots. They're the team wearing the white shorts.
Clintock half winning it, but McMurdy gets the boot in. Willie Carl losing that to Lutton and winning it back again. This is Nicholson. Dugan and Best, the front runners. Here's Best, faced by Moncur. Best with a shot, and Bobby Clark couldn't really judge that one. There's George Best, chap who owes this side a goal or two. Hasn't in fact scored for Ireland in the past 5 years in 9 internationals, so he owes, I suppose he owes Ireland something at the moment. Neil upsetting O'Hare from behind. O'Hare, a very difficult man to play against, as we've seen so often with Derby. Many centre-halves have found him a real handful. Moncur with this free kick for Scotland. Gilzine well up. O'Hare there. Neil to Clements. It's bobbing about, and finally McMurdy. Campbell coming in for this. Best taking it on. Campbell going through the middle. Best taking on too many men, I think. No, he's through again now. Hayne quickly with the tackle. Best trying to get it to Lutton. Scotland breaking back now. McLean. Robbed by Clements. Lutton slipping past. Moncur. Dugan up for Best. Here's a chance. Well, that was one that Georgie Best really ought to have slotted into the net.
Now the second half.
Beginning to find a little cohesion in their work at the moment. Wind holding the ball up. McLean faced by Clements. Watch O'Hare now. A great little goal. A simple, neat goal by John O'Hare. His very first international game, his very first international goal.
Television presentation there in Belfast by Tony Flanagan. Now let's have a look at that winning Scottish goal again, this time in slow motion.
This goal shows just how one moment's lap by a defence can give the other side the chance to take the goal that they so desperately wanted. Here, just watch as Alan Gilzean runs to play that ball out to the wing. There's Terry Neal against him. In fact, he tackles him strongly, but he can't prevent him getting the ball out to the right wing. In fact, Gilzean goes down then and is hurt. He's out of the game. But Terry Neal then tries to get back into position. And the ball's picked up on the right wing by number 7 McLean, faced by David Clements. Now you can see O'Kane in the left-hand corner of your picture has moved to cover Clements instead of staying with O'Hare there. There's Terry Neal, who comes into the picture to try and get back and prevent it, but really in these days that was an open goal presented by the opposition. It wasn't really a goal that was worked.
Well, so soon after that incident, we had the sending off of George Best. I've seen George now perhaps 4 times in the last month and really have seen only just the occasional flash of what he can do. And twice I've seen him in serious trouble with the referees. I think for Manchester United, for Ireland and above all for himself, George really has got to buckle down now. How serious, though, Jimmy, do you think this is?
Well, unless he does something about it, there's no question about it. The authorities will have to suspend him for good. You can't go on in this manner, just resenting authority, not submitting to authority on the field, and expect to carry on making a career out of football. It's a tragic thing, but it doesn't leave the FA and the Football League in this position any choice in the matter.
Well, this is where the trouble began to blow up after that incident in the penalty area.
I think part of George's frustration is because he's not having a good time, and he's not had good publicity recently, and he's determined to do something about it, and he just can't get back on the form.
That's where he starts making a mistake. There undoubtedly was something that looked like a spit in any case, and soon after we get the mudslinging as well. There it goes. And really the referee had no option at that point but to send George Best off.
It seems to me it's sort of a national or international disease, the resentment of the young for the authority and for the elderly. And George typifies this in a way. But it just can't go on in football. I mean, not to that extent. I wouldn't have minded if he was gaining anything by that protest, or if there was a chance of him gaining anything. It was absolutely futile, as Derek Dougan is explaining to him here. And I think that shows, that picture tells the story of Derek Dougan's view of George Best's action on that day. I mean, people say to me, Georgie Best, you know, he's not a very nice character. He's a lovely character, a delightful character, a wonderful chap to have as a friend or conversation with. He likes the game of football, but he must learn to control that Irish temperament on the field. Otherwise, he's not going to have the money, he's not going to have all the opportunities that football has given him so far and will continue to give him in the future.
And finally, 2 reminders of soccer on ITV. On Wednesday night, highlights of Scotland against Wales from Hampden Park, and then next Saturday, the real big one, the one that can decide it all, Scotland against England from Hampden Park. And you can see the full match on ITV first at 7:15 next Saturday. We leave you today, though, with a soccer contrast of the 70s. A stunning goal by one great player, the sad dismissal of another.
Alan Ball to Mallory, leaving it for Lee. And a shot by Lee! Oh, what a